Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. Apparently, Manchester United are back in pole position for Viktor Gyökeres. We also want to discuss Bryan and Mbeumo and his medical set for next week. But what should the priority be next for Manchester United? A player in or getting players out? Get involved as usual. Have your say in the comments section. And don't forget to leave a like on today's video, please. Viktor Gyökeres, let's start with him.
Well, the reports is that he's told United he wants to come to Old Trafford. And you're right, pole position. That's the reports. But, you know, the news on Gyökeres, as far as I'm concerned, is all over the place. He's been linked with Arsenal, Liverpool. And do you know something? I thought Ruben Amorim was talking to him every day. Baffling.
Yeah, do you know what? Something that we was actually looking at this morning, going back over a couple of weeks, 3 weeks of transfer reports out there from journalists, and one of them that we've seen from Fabrizio Romano was that Manchester United was talking to Gyökeres every single day. And you know, you look back on things now, and it's, you know, some of the reports you see, and it's like they're just trying to get United fans at it. They're just trying to keep on spinning the news out there for more clicks and clicks. And for me, I just don't believe any of the reports on Viktor Gyökeres. You know, you let me know if I'm wrong out there, but I just don't see it in the plan that they've got this summer, especially not with having Champions League football, that would be going for Viktor Gyökeres. I think, personally, in regards to a striker, I actually don't think we'll see one come in this summer. I really don't. I think the only target was actually going to be Liam Delap, based on no Champions League football. And Ruben Amorim himself has got to maybe look at it, you know, have a look at himself in the mirror. He could have probably done better in that night in Bilbao, you know, beating Tottenham, getting that Europa League trophy and getting in the Champions League. And maybe things might have been a bit different. Maybe we might have been seeing Viktor Gyökeres coming to Old Trafford. But as things stand right now, I just don't see a striker coming in this summer. I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just look at all the reports, and at times I've looked at him and thought, this is an insult to people's intelligence, to be honest with you. You know, I looked at the president of Sporting, and I looked at the what some people have called the absolutely disgusting infighting going on between Gyökeres and the president. For me, it's just all over the place. I've not seen anything confirming United are really going in for him. Just that Ruben Amorim apparently has been talking to him every day. This is not a player coming to Old Trafford where a manager is talking to the player and convincing him to come to Old Trafford. I don't know what it's about. We'll find out at a later date why he's spoken to Arsenal, why there's reports with Liverpool. But for me, is his agent out there looking for the highest money for his player? You can't blame him for that. But listen, this is not a certainty. Never has been. It's just the links with Sporting and Ruben Amorim. For me, Gyökeres is not on the table. I cannot see it happening, to be honest with you.
No, I don't. I just don't have any confidence around it whatsoever, to be honest. And you heard Gyökeres and his agent come out roughly a couple of weeks ago. I think he posted something on his Instagram page, Gyökeres, basically saying that he'll set the record straight at some point, and the agent mentioning they've got the facts about that meeting and that gentleman's agreement that they had from last summer about letting him go for a certain fee. Still no news from either of them. So are they actually telling the truth there? I only want players here at the football club, like your Cunha, your Mbeumo, where you're hearing them noises out there. I only want to come to Old Trafford. That's the team that I want to play for. I've not heard anything like that from Gyökeres or his camp. So,
well, you look at Cunha and you look at Mbeumo. They want to come to Manchester United. It looks like the Mbeumo one. Well, it feels like it's been going on for months, to be honest with you. But I just think it's down to FFP. Other outlets are reporting that now. But you have to listen to what Ruben Amorim has been saying for quite a while now. And on several occasions, he said bringing in players will be difficult, and that's down to money. On this channel, I've been talking about bringing in players. I only thought they would bring in 2 players, and if they sold players, then they might bring in one more. But Ruben Amorim has said that as well. 2 players are possible to come in, and then any other players will look further down the line, and let's see what the priority is. Well, we all know what the priority is now. And as far as I'm concerned, it's all about selling the deadwood, selling players what are not fit in this squad, players what don't want to play for Manchester United. Their whole priority now is to get them out. And I think coming into the 1st of July, everything's going to change. We'll see United move players on, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And we've heard the stories regarding some of these players about wages, and that is the problem.
Yeah, with Mbeumo, it's been going on for that long. I feel as though he's already played in a Man United shirt, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've seen these journalists, especially over the last few days, coming out with words and phrases that I never knew existed, just to try and get the exclusive out of there, get the clicks in first. And for me, I look around the actual scenario, or the reports around Mbeumo, I'm actually glad Man United are doing things in a closed shop. You know, instead of every little bit of detail coming out there like we've seen in the past under previous regimes, like your Richard Arnold, your Ed Woodward, where a lot of information and a lot of facts have always come out. And I think these journalists are way behind the curve with how far Manchester United are with transfer dealings, me.
Yeah, I look at Mbeumo, and from the off, I've always said he will come to Manchester United. And the reason being, he stated, it came out there that he wanted to play for Manchester United. And I am delighted with it. His medical, apparently, is booked for next week. So let's get him in for the 7th of July. That's what we want. Kuna and Mbeumo in there. And then let's hope that we get some players sold and get another player in before that pre-season. That's the priority also. So selling players and getting them in there for that pre-season under Ruben Amorim, so he's got time with these new players. For me, Mbeumo is an excellent signing, scores goals, plays on the left, can play centre forward, and then with Kuna there, absolutely delighted. One more player, that's all I see coming in. So that medical next week, we all knew it was coming. So let's get it done.
I do think that United do need to look at the players, the famous four, shall we say.
Ooh.
Anthony, Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho. Will we start seeing some movement around them four players in the next few days, couple of weeks? I really do hope so, because then it will maybe give a possibility of then getting in maybe a striker that I do want in this team.
The priority selling players. I look at Rashford, I look at Sancho. United are playing hardball at the moment. They're demanding a fee, and I think they're going to struggle to get it. But let's get it right. These players should be out of the club, and the big problem is the wages. These players are being linked all over the place. Juventus, they're looking at Napoli, everything else like that. And it comes down to one thing, with especially these two players, is their wages. So will United buckle? And that is going to be interesting over the next few weeks, because United don't want to buckle on these players. They need, on the 7th of July, when they come in, exclude them from the squad. Ruben Amorim can keep them away, and it's not just these two players. There are other players. Ruben Amorim has said he wants to work with a smaller squad. That's great. But any of these people what are earmarked for out, they have to be excluded, and they have to be shown the door as quickly as possible. But I do fear that some of these players are going to hang on, right, because of their wages. And they're playing the game, they're playing the system, they're playing United, and they're certainly playing on the heartstrings of Manchester United fans. For me, the quicker it's done, the better. But I do worry that this will drag on with some of these players till the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, I do think it'll impact, obviously, trying to bring players in as well, especially with the famous four. You know, I do think that will probably drag on me until probably late July, even the start of August. There's only really Anthony there who I feel positive will be able to move from Manchester United. He seems like he actually wants to go and play football, and fair play to him, looking to obviously take a pay cut of 30% as well. And if he does move on, I wish him the best of luck. It's just not worked out here at Manchester United.
I just look at it. You have to understand there is no money, and we've been saying it on here for a long time. People have been saying we don't know what we're talking about and all that, but Ruben Amorim has confirmed what the problem is. So selling players is vital. So do not think we're going to get another player in straight away. We have to see players out. United have to assess the finances and say, are we capable of buying a certain player for a certain position? And what is the priority? What is the position out there people really think? Some people think it's a striker, but we're bringing two players in. What can score goals? I believe we should bring in a centre-half. Other people think it's a goalkeeper, a midfield player. But hey, it's going to take time, and it all depends on getting players out and getting money in. The thing is, some of these players we're not going to get a lot of money for, even though Rashford there is being touted as 40 million. Sancho, 25 million. There's 65 million. Are we going to get that? I very much doubt it.
Yeah, and obviously rumours over the last few weeks with Frankfurt's Ekitike as well, the centre forward, but at 80 million, 100 million euro, That's definitely not on the table for Manchester United without any European football next season as well. But anything more to add, though, before we go?
No, I just like that Mbeumo's here, and what I like about him, right, is he said from the get-go, I want to go to Manchester United. And for me, Kuna done the same, and they both got Premier League experience. So when you're looking at the transfer market, bringing another player in, it'll be absolutely excellent for Manchester United if that player has Premier League experience, because that is what we've lacked in the transfer market over the years.
Yeah, and I think with Mbeumo and Cunha as well, I don't think that will limit Ahmad's game time either. I've said for quite a while now, going back even to January of last season, that I do believe Ahmad would be perfect in that wing-back role from the right-hand side instead of Delo. I mean, there's plenty of grass for him to run into. We know all his attributes, his intensity, and especially his speed over that first 10 to 15 yards in closing players down. So for me, I hope to see that next season, because on that right-hand side, you've got Mbeumo. Bruno Fernandes will probably drop into the midfield too as well, depending on who we play, the opposition are. And then you've got Ahmad. I mean, that's an improvement for me, especially on last season. So get involved, have your say on what we've discussed in today's video. Smash that like button as well to help support the channel, and we'll be back in the next one. So get that notification on, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.